Hey everybody, Sean from Media Assault here, and it's time once again for an entry into my Essential Movies series. This is episode number 15, and for those of you that remember, since the last time I've done this, is I'm reviewing every movie in this book, which is Joe Layden's Guide to Essential Movies that you must see if you read, write about, or make movies. And the last film that I did was Dark Victory from 1939, and that's a film that featured Humphrey Bogart in a supporting role as sort of a wannabe romantic character. He didn't quite have the panache to win over Bette Davis in that film. But in Casablanca, from 1942, the film I'm reviewing right now, he is definitely the romantic lead, obviously. This is the movie that sort of made him viable as a romantic lead in motion pictures. And of course, Casablanca is an iconic movie. It's one of the most quoted films of all time. It's one of those movies that's parodied and ripped off all the time. But when I started this series, the main reason I wanted to do it is because there are a lot of films that I haven't seen in a very long time. There are a lot of these movies that I have never seen at all. This is a movie that's sort of a combination of the two. I know I sat down and watched this movie maybe 30, 35 years ago when it was on during the afternoon, back when television stations played movies in the afternoon rather than, Judge Judy or People's Court or crap like that. They had like the $1 Million Movie or the afternoon movie or whatever, and Casablanca was on, and I know I was over at my stepfather's house before he became my stepfather, and we used to watch movies over there all the time. So I know I saw this film. The problem is it's so long ago that I don't remember anything from the movie. So watching it today was like watching it for the first time all over again. Of course, Casablanca came out in 1942. It was directed by Michael Curtiz, I believe is how you pronounce his name. And as for somebody who directed a film as iconic as Casablanca, that's a name that I really have to say that I wasn't that familiar with. So I looked it up, and he's done some amazing work. Angels with Dirty Faces, Yankee Doodle Dandy, Dodge City, The Adventures of Robin Hood, Captain Blood. Just an amazing body of work for somebody who, to me, is a relative unknown in terms of name value. I've heard of those films, I just never heard of him. And I'm not really sure why that is, unless, maybe he wasn't credited as making those films successful on his own, or maybe it wasn't just, him as a director that was responsible for these films. And I wouldn't say that Casablanca is a fantastic movie in terms of direction. It's more of a fantastic movie in terms of being greater than the sum of its parts, because there are so many things in this film that I want to talk about, and I don't want to ramble, and I definitely don't want to spoil anything. So I'm really not going to talk about the plot much more beyond the fact that it is about a relationship between two characters during the early part of World War II who kind of fall back into each other's lives within the backdrop of Casablanca, which is part of Free France, non-occupied France, their territories during World War II. And it's sort of a place where refugees who are escaping occupied France, trying to get to America, kind of coalesce as they wait for, a way to get out of the country, whether it be a visa or, paperwork or whatever. So there's this incredible mishmash of nationalities and political views and things that are sort of thrown together in sort of a neutral environment. It's kind of interesting, but of course the story is actually about the relationship between these two characters, which is Rick, played by Humphrey Bogart, and Ilsa, played by Ingrid Bergman, who had a past and have now been separated and then are thrown back together in this backdrop that I was talking about. This is a film that was nominated for 8 Academy Awards. It won 3. It won for Best Picture, Best Screenplay, and Best Director. And one of the things that I think is really cool about Casablanca is the fact that you've got all these different multi-layered story elements. You've got that backdrop of Casablanca and the the refugees and all these people coming together, and all of them trying to find a way out of this town, or out of, the city, out of Morocco. You've got that. You've got the politics of it with the pro-Nazi Frenchmen, the Vichy, who are in the town. Then you've got the people who are, of course, the pro-resistance, who are in the town. They're all kind of thrown together, and the interplay between the two of those is great. There's a lot of cool dialogue, and cool just sounds sort of like I'm just throwing out a word, but there's a lot of interesting dialogue between characters. That some of the things sound like throwaway lines, and they're not. They're really sort of making a statement about the politics of the people. And this is a movie that demands a rewatch, because I know I missed a lot of that stuff. I know it was significant, but I can't tell you specifically the significance of a lot of it, because it just kind of went by me very quickly. But it's very subtle. But of course, there are a lot of memorable melodramatic moments, of course, where a lot of the quotes that this movie is known for come from. Here's looking at you, kid, and of all the gin joints and all the towns and all the world, she walks into mine. We'll always have Paris, stuff like that. When those moments come up, it's hard not to smile and chuckle to yourself, because you've heard these lines in other places, in other elements, in other contexts, and it's just very cool to hear them in the right context at the right moment. And that is very, very cool. I loved the character of Rick in this movie. I loved Humphrey Bogart's portrayal of him. The fact that he is someone, and again, I don't want to spoil it or get into a big plot summary, but the fact that he is someone that puts on this persona of not caring about anything. I'm not going to stick my neck out for anybody. I don't know what I'm doing tonight because I don't make plans that far ahead. That type of a guy. He tries to come off as non-caring, and in fact, he does have this self-sacrificial side to him, and I think that is really cool. The duality of this character is very cool. I like the score in this film by Max Steiner, and I like its use of motifs where, a scene, the camera will be lingering on somebody, and the song, oh geez, I can't remember the name of the song. Oh my god, it's like the iconic song, and I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, I'm gonna have to put it on a title below me because I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, it plays in the background, this musical motif, and you know what a character is thinking about just by the use of the music, and that's just really cool. It's obviously not original to this movie, but the fact that the motifs are so recognizable in this film, apparently not memorable in terms of title, but just the score really works well in the context of the film. Claude Rains is in this movie, and he plays Renaud, a Vichy prefect captain, and he is just spectacular. He brought a smile to my face every single time he's on screen. He's just a comic treasure in this movie, and I don't know that he gets enough credit, although I believe he was nominated for an Academy Award. If he wasn't, that's just a mistake on my part, but he should have been if he wasn't. Dooley Wilson, who plays Sam, the piano player in this film, he's an integral part of the script in terms of the relationship between Ilsa and Rick, and he does a great job. In fact, the actor Dooley Wilson was the drummer in real life, and he didn't play piano. And one of the few flaws in this film is if you're watching his fingers while he's supposedly playing piano, it's obvious that he's not playing piano. And that's just one of those really stupid nitpicker things that I just happen to notice. This is a movie that I put off watching for quite a while just because I had to get into the mood to watch it. And I'm just really pissed at myself that I didn't watch it sooner because it's so good. And I hate to sound rambly, and that's one of the things that I really hesitate when I do these films because for some reason these essential reviews get a lot of views. And a lot of people want to hear somebody review a movie like Citizen Kane or All the President's Men or Gone with the Wind. And I frequently get comments from people who perceive themselves as film scholars they tear me apart for not knowing this, that, and the other about a film. People, this is the first time I've really watched this movie and understood what was going on. 35 years ago, I was 9 years old. I wasn't really getting Casablanca. But now, I immediately want to pop this in and watch it again. I do want to get this on Blu-ray. I picked this up used at a used DVD store for just a few dollars, but there's the 70th anniversary Blu-ray set that's out that I just automatically want to pick it up. I want to see this movie restored and just in its pristine glory because it is a fantastic movie. Definitely a movie that I want to watch again and again. And I can't say that about too many of the movies that I've reviewed so far in the Essential Movies series. But this is definitely one of them. Just everything clicks. And I hate to sound sort of full of hyperbole for this movie, but it's just a really, really good film. And that's an understatement. It's a definite 10 out of 10. It's a movie I will definitely watch again. And if you haven't seen it, by all means, stop what you're doing, go out and see it. I believe it's available for free on, if you're a member of Amazon Prime, it's available as one of the free Prime instant videos. That's how I watched it, even though I have the DVD. I was just lazy laying on the couch today and pulled it up on my Xbox and watched it. But I believe it is also available on Netflix streaming. If it's not, go out and buy it. It is not money wasted, let me tell you that right now. So there you go. That is my essential review of Casablanca. The next film that I will be reviewing in this series is a movie that I have not really wanted to review. I just don't think that I'm going to enjoy it, but I could be wrong, and that's Pillow Talk. So it may be another case where I may have to get myself into a mood to watch it, but look for my review of Pillow Talk coming up at some point in the near future. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and take it easy.